All right, Chapter 3, Railroad Accounting Principles, Board, Volume 2, 1987, Chapter 3, Principle, Practicality Principle. Statement of Principle. The related information should be feasible to obtain the efficient determination of the material account made feasible. Information must be principally physically possible to obtain the acceptable level of accuracy to be efficiently determined with the information most generate the benefits exceeding with the cost of the providing with the to be the material and the amount of the information must have such a bearing on the issue that the hand of the absence of the would lead to significantly different outcome. Explanation. According to Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 11162B3 and 4 of the Railroad Accounting Principle of developing cost accounting principles is to take into account the existing applicability of the probable factor of the capability of the rail carrier to provide information relative to the benefit of the cost of the requirement to develop an additional capability, the means by with a degree of the economical accuracy required to be obtained with the least possible expense of which the least possible information reporting. The practical principles reflects the provision of the standalone railroad accounting, or sorry, the SRA combines with the attributed with the feasible efficiency material. Feasibility relates to the ability to prepare the cost information reliably, accurately, unless collecting and requiring computing data, physical possibility, then obtaining the information with the not feasible, regarding the contribution theoretically could be make the cost processing. The real cost of the capital may be used as an example the stable return with the investment, requiring the additional to be compensated with the inflation. The real cost of the capital is not observable in the financial market. It must be established with removing an investment expected with the price level changing for the normal observed rates, although numerous methods of estimating the relation real of the capital will have been produced and not to appear. Alright, provide sufficient reliable results. Chapter 6 of page 36 of this calculation of the accurate stable of real cost of the capital appears infeasible. Efficiency. According to practicality principle, to justify the requiring particular cost information benefits to be derived from the cost information must receive with the cost of providing with the particular practicality principle provided the limited flexibility applying with the railroad accounting principle board so that less expensive method to estimate the cost when the result was significantly different from those that would have been achieved through the strict conformance with the principle of the railroad financial accounting with the standard board or the FASB statement of the financial accounting concepts. Number 2, noting that the cost of the providing information include collecting, processing, auditing, dissemination, potential litigation, possible disclosing, analyzing, and interpretation. Collection and processing costs should include the increased and decreased costs associated information on a regular basis, as well as initial designing and programming necessary to facilitate the change. Auditing fees are based on the scope of the procedure to perform disseminating information. Necessary step that provided with the required information. Litigation may result. Information with the presented with the disclosure may result with the incurred by the reporting from one of 3 ways: through the loss of the business with the competing forms of the railroad truck of the barge, which may be information with the competing with the customer; through the reduction of the revenue with the cost, or the use of the information negotiation more effective through the cost, through ability of the competitor to identify the copy of the innovations would improve the operations. Of course, those perspective of the using the reported data, these items are benefits of the analyzed. Interpretation may include the cost of the reduction information with the course of the time spent analyzing and interpreting the information. Although some of these costs may be less difficult to measure, but the benefits associated with the cost information will difficulty and quantify with the precision is not easily achieved. The cost per benefit analysis technique may be useful, but the judgment may be ultimately decision factor. The purchase of the cost of related information is different with the purchase of other the commodities in certain respects, while other commodities may be enjoyed with the buyer the others buyer discretion. The benefit of the cost information are not confined to those who have paid it, although the initial expense may be fallen to the preparer. Ultimately, cost benefits and widely diffused. Some questions judgment arise, such as how the costs and benefits are to be measured until they are imputed with how much of the information would be compiled to the preparer's own use and that part of the regulatory requirements. 2 commenters suggested the Interstate Commission required to justify the existing regulatory schedules as well as the data elements with the schedule of the process. The asserts this should demonstrate the relevance of the required data, how it would be used with the often needed with the railroad accounting principle. Believe the practicality principle applied to both existing and new reporting requirements, addressing the such related implementation issue of the better life of the rule-making principle. Interstate Commerce which conducted the implementation process principles. Materiality. Several aspects were considered for the determination of what is material. Generally, the nature of the item, the circumstance, with the magnitude of such be study. However, the standing of the materiality accounts for the consideration and during the experience of human judgment is not likely to be formulated. Observation materiality is an account with the Carman J. Blow of the Virginia account in the 1949 is still appropriate. The question whether the material is published with the general meaning of the public great many years that nobody is prepared for the define so that it does not ultimately rely on someone's judgment. Alright, the Financial Accounting Standard Board is a statement of financial accounting principles. Number 2, the example of the job application employment agency illustrate material. The duties of location, salaries, hours, work, fringe benefits of the information application will certainly want. However, the job security vacation of the information may not be sufficiently important to affect the decision about the job. Perhaps the quality of the cafeteria food of the carpeting on the office floor may be no concern with the application. Applicant. An account illustration taken from the intermediate with the account with the keystone Wayganti shall be significant, relevant, size, and important versus the absolute size of the making the material judgment. Illustration materials, company A and company B, sales costs and expenses, income, operations, unusual gains. During the similar time period, the companies have the proportional revenues expense of net income should shows the unusual gain. Company's A's unusual gain is $20,000. Company B unusual gain is $5,000. For the relatively, the company A unusually is most significant with the company B unless they becomes a much smaller percentage with the company net income. Obviously discussed the gains material. The following factors should be considered determining material cumulative effective efforts for themselves. Materials should be considered, for example, the computation of the cost of the capital revenue adequacy with the cost of the preferred stock, for the cost of material with the railroad sample of the material for all the railroads with the sample, in such case to the mission cost preferred stock, which constitutes material error. Circumstances may be the difference in determining what the materials supposed for the computation of railroad return of investment should be used for revenue adequacy purposes. Contains in the error of the 1/2 of 1% error might implement and material for the railroad of investment terms would in case of the far below for the cost of capital of the Interstate Commerce Commission error probability would material. However, the correction would make the railroad revenue adequate. The degree of precision attainable should be considered. For example, the least precision material requirements should apply with the computation of the cost of equity rather than the computation of the railroad return of investment. Return of investment can be accurately computed with the reported financial information. The cost of that equity, on the other hand, is not observable and can only be inferred from the available financial information. Since less precision is attainable, the cost equity of the computation has facts should be influenced the material judgment. Alternative practicality principles underlie all the accounting system permissive in nature because of this significance of reaching the influence for the particular principle. Practicality principle is fundamental with the tool of developing economical accurate costs. Railroad accounting principles determine the practical principal costs necessary with the reasons stated with the address with the requirements of Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 11162 B3 and 4. Railroad accountants did not receive the commentaries of any of the alternative principles of consideration. Applications effective with the practical principles effective with all the specific regulatory applications addressed in the Railroad Accounting Principle Board. Chapter 4, Data Integrity Principle.